In the chest press level 1 exercise, what you want to do is stand against a pole. And the way that you want to stand against the pole is with your lower back, your scapula, in between the scapula, right at the thoracic spine, and the back of the head, and even the tailbone. So really 4 places. You want all 4 of those places touching at the same time while the chest press is going on. So it doesn't matter which pole you use, but it just needs to be a place where the client's feet can be centered and square, like as you see here, right? Because there's a lot of places like squat racks that's going to make you stagger your stance in the way the poles are. You won't be able to stand squarely. So that's the first step, is really important. Then the next thing is to get a band, of course, that's adequate to provide a moderate resistance for your client in this level 1. And what we're learning in this level 1 chest press exercise is really how to align the spine while keeping the scapula in scapular stabilized position, which is the retraction, depression, and external rotation of the scapula. So all 3 things must happen, and keep that in isometrically held position during the entire chest press. So that's really what's happening here. That's what we're learning in this foundation. Let's go ahead and apply that. Good. And with the band, you want to hold it just like you would a dumbbell. Grab that band just like a handle throughout the entire hand there. And then go ahead and start from here and press forward. Good. And now oftentimes what will happen is the band you're using, it might be a little bit too long for the pole. So the way to adjust this, if the band is adequate length and it's really proper tension for your client, you can start with that. If not, what you'd want to do is take a roller, a long roller, and you can slide it between your client and the pole. And now we've just increased distance from the pole about 4 to 5 inches. And now we're not going to have that slack that we had in the beginning of the repetition before. Good, let's do one more rep. And remember, you want to keep the scapula depressed, retracted, and externally rotated the entire time by pinning those scapula against the pole for the entire rep and the entire set. For fitness doctor practitioners, it's very important to know how to cue your client. So how to physically and even verbally cue your client during the chest press exercise, especially here in level 1 and what you're going to learn in level 2. And the thing that you're going to need a cue, as you can see in the second video image here, is that as a trainer, what you want to do is place and palpate your thumb, index, and middle finger onto the client's scapula like this. And then you would tell the client, hey, go ahead, I want you to try to keep your scapula together. As I'm pinching your scapula, feel the pressure of my fingers and try to keep that together while you press out. So the whole time the client's pressing out, they're actually spending more effort, right? And then what happens is if the client begins to lose it, then you as the fitness doctor practitioner will start to squeeze more so that the client can feel that they're losing it. So that's really, it's really hard in the beginning for the client to propriocept the position of that scapula while they're pressing, because really they have an inverse relationship between the press and the retraction of the scapula. So as the client begins to lose that position, you can begin to apply more pressure and squeezing of that scapula, and that's really key to optimizing the proprioceptive ability of the client in this position. The other thing to understand is this: why is it so important? Why do you want your scapula in a scapular stabilized position during a chest press? And the reason for that is that when the shoulder is not stabilized in a scapular stabilized position, what happens is the shoulder begins to anteriorly translate. So the humeral head at the end range of the eccentric action, the humeral head will begin to anteriorly translate and put excessive load, stress, and pressure on the labrum. And actually this has been researched to show, really what the research showed is that a bench press or presses shouldn't actually be done to full range of motion for that exact reason. The test subjects in this research were not doing a full range of motion with a scapular stabilized position. They're doing as you would typically see people do, like bench press, which is without this extreme scapular stabilized position. And when we add that, what happens is it takes the whole glenohumeral joint and shifts it posteriorly and creates a much, much greater alignment for the glenohumeral head in the glenoid fossa to decrease shear stress. And that's really the huge thing, and that's so important. And also what you're doing is you're training clients for synergistic motor unit recruitment so that they have proper stabilization of not only the scapular muscles such as the rhomboids, the lower trapezius, the mid trapezius, but also muscles such as the infraspinatus and the teres minor, which is helping to draw that shoulder into a position that's stabilized posteriorly, and that creates tremendous support so that your clients can get very strong in a very biomechanically optimized way while decreasing shear stress.